I thought today I would talk about sisterhood and connecting to and with other women. Ooh, okay. This is definitely not how to braid hair. Lately, I've been reconnecting with some of my soul sisters. We spoke about sisterhood. Growing up, I've had this deep desire for this really close female friendship. For the longest time in my life, I wanted it to look a certain way. Something that I've been learning is that in this process, in growing, in becoming, I've witnessed myself with this desire for sisterhood. I've witnessed myself crave those things. Something that I've really recognized is that sometimes it has just been about going inwards, about building a relationship to self, about nurturing self, about having relationship with self. And you hear a lot of people speaking about this when it comes to things like relationships. And it's so important to have a relationship with yourself first and foremost. But as I am speaking about sisterhood, I want to go beyond that. In developing that relationship with self, when I do go out to, whether it's meet people or to connect with people that I already know, what I'm able to give is so much better, so much bigger, and it flows, and I feel like as well, when I've been able to connect to myself, I've spent time getting to know myself. I'm now more comfortable in my being, in myself. And then I'm able to meet the people who can meet me where I'm at. I'm able to connect with people deeper because I've spent time connecting to myself. To me, that's been a big thing with sisterhood. Some of the friends that I've had for a long time, that we have begun to deepen our connection because we've become more vulnerable with each other. For a long time, I didn't allow myself to be seen in totality in front of people whom I consider family, people I've been friends with since I was a young teenager, and that took a lot of accepting who I am, getting to know who I am. So sometimes this whole thing of sisterhood, sometimes we need to find new people, we need to connect, and even then, if you don't know who you are, you're not going to know what you're looking for. It's that whole thing of the tree with the deep roots. As someone with knowledge of their history, this is what enables us to grow up and to rise rooted. If we don't know who we are, we're going to be seeking it in other people. And so having that relationship, that knowledge and awareness of self, and even if that's something that you're still exploring, that's okay. I'm still exploring 100%. There's so much for me to learn and grow in relationship to with myself. But what I wanted to say is, in that space, when you have some kind of idea of who you want to be, what your values are or what you enjoy, then you're going to gravitate those sorts of people into your life, and to also deepen connections that you already have. It's kind of like you may have read a book before, you may have read that book front to back. This happens to me a lot. But the more that I evolve in my life, the more that book shows me, the more that book is telling me, the more I get to learn from it and build a relationship with that book. And it's the same I've found with other people. It's just like with skills, and having community and connection is also a skill. And relationships are things we need to nurture, just like skills. So, we need to nurture these relationships, be open, be authentic. And this is something really close to my heart, something that I'm growing in now, and something that I wanted to share whilst I was doing my hair, which is still not finished. I still need to dip my ends. But I wanted to share it whilst doing my hair, because when I'm braiding my own hair, I'm having that relationship with myself. When I'm braiding my sister's hair, my sacred sisters, my soul sisters, it's an opportunity for us to deeper connect. We've kind of broken the kind of third wall, you know, like the distance that you kind of keep naturally between yourself and people. In general, you're breaking that wall. You're touching someone's crown, you know, and this space in so many cultures is a sacred space. I believe that when I'm doing someone's hair, we're connecting, whether we're connecting to ourselves, our own strands of hair. By the time I finish my own, I've shifted something within myself as well. Even just in filming this video, it really brought some emotions up for me. Sometimes the connection that we desire is connection with self, but beyond that, we have the opportunity to connect with our sisters, specifically in this state right now, right? We need to see beyond our own limiting beliefs about what connection needs to look like for yourself. And when you allow yourself to be authentic and also vulnerable, you know, we have our boundaries, but I'm speaking about being open right now, because that's how we connect. We're not going to be able to connect if we have our guard up. I and one of my closest friends and sisters that I've been friends with since I was 14, we have a very funny, and for me, a little bit of an embarrassing story of the beginning of our friendship, of our sisterhood. And I recently understood why I met her this way, as in why when I met her, I presented myself in a very kind of hard way, walls up. It is definitely a blessing how that changed, like in an instant. We connected over something, you know, and it's beautiful to be able to be back in country to physically connect with my sisters as well. I also wanted to say that with all the changes that have been going on in this world in the last couple of years, we also do have to get creative with the way that we choose to connect with people, learning to connect beyond barriers, you know, and learning to love and realizing that you don't always have to be in someone's physical space to have a connection. For me, sisterhood is a huge thing. It's a huge thing because it's not something that I grew up with. It's something that I'm still doing my best to understand, to connect with. In this current space in my life, I'm feeling really grounded and nourished creatively, lovingly, by deepening my connection with people who I already consider sisters. So yeah, and I just wanted to share that with you. You know, relationships look different across the board. Don't feel the need to judge what your friendships look like. Don't feel the need to subscribe to a certain image of sisterhood. Understand what sisterhood means to you. That's what I'm learning to do for myself too. For me, communing in nature with sisters, yo, that is like, I'm so excited to dive into that element of sisterhood. Like, let's go for a hike, let's go camping, let's have a picnic in the park, you know. I'm just so grateful to have a fair few women in my life at this time. That's a blessing, who I can call on. Growing up and having now women around me who can kind of affirm to me that, yo, this is normal, this is a part of what it is to be a woman. We get to speak about some taboo topics and some things that, you know, just feel awkward, but that's the thing, when you are able to open up and be vulnerable and connect authentically from your heart, that is when you're going to feel that connection. I want to leave you with the awareness that, and the encouragement of authentically being in yourself, in the understanding that We all have different ways of connecting. Sisterhood looks different on all of us. Learn to take away the gaze, the lens of society, of what it's showing you, that what it means to be sisters or girlfriends or whatever it is, and understand what that means to you, through you, and from you. And look at the people around you and see where you may already have the sisterhood that you can expand into. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey, for being here. I appreciate you, and I wish you all the juicy, wonderful, joyful, loving, gracious connection that you deserve and that you desire. Peace.